Hi, this is Lonna Lisa Williams, aka Survival Woman. And yes, it is still Friday, February 19, 2021. Yep. And I'm in my car because I had to go drive like half an hour to the doctor and get some medicine. Yay. And I thought I would show you something in my car and tell you a story and review a film. So, first I'm going to show you these dots. Well, notice I'm wearing a blue dot, okay? And that blue dot tells a story. My original dot was green, and I wrote a blog post called The Green Dot. And it was about a year ago when when California Governor Newsom first locked down California and made us all stay in our homes. And we could only go to the doctor if we really had to, and we had to wear a mask. Yeah, my mask is here. Isn't it cute? Yep, that's my mask, one of them. I have three. This one, a pink one, and a black one, and a whole bunch of disposable ones. Anyway, we had to wear a mask to go to the doctor, and they'd give us a green dot if we passed the test of no fever. And we're not having any of those COVID-19 symptoms like no diarrhea and no upset stomach and no loss of taste or smell. And no high fever. Oh yeah. So I've been asked that like a million times in the past year, it seems like, and have my temperature taken at not only at my doctor's office, but also at Walmart. Yeah. And had to wear a mask whenever I'm outside my car among people. Right. So I saw this film that was made in 2020, one of the few films that actually was, because Hollywood was shut down too. And it's called Songbird. And I wanted to do a quick review. And talk about my dot and how it all comes together with the other dots in my car, which I'll show you later. So Songbird is about two lovers who are separated by COVID-24. It's a little bit in the future, and the whole world's been in lockdown for like 5 years. And she's in her apartment, and he's outside because he's one of the immune people, and they get a special yellow bracelet. I have a bracelet. This one, let's see, can I show you? It's cute, but it's not yellow. It's pink and silver. Yeah, so they get a special bracelet that says, I'm immune and I can go outside, because it was all airborne, which I guess it is still. It's airborne now, but people aren't freaking out too much anymore because now we have the immunization. Yeah, 2-part immunization, by the way. So back to Songbird. There was this guy. He's a bicycle delivery guy. And he works with this really cool veteran from Iraq or somewhere who's in a wheelchair and who has a really cool drone. The drone flies around and sees everything and keeps an eye on the delivery man with his bicycle. And so the immune delivery guy with his bicycle goes throughout Los Angeles, and we see the freeways are closed down and there aren't many people out on the streets because they have made special camps, quarantine camps, Q camps, to put people in who are sick. And they probably won't get any better. And Q doesn't stand for quarantine. It stands for quick death. Yeah, Q for quick. I thought that was clever. So he wants to keep his girlfriend, who's behind a door, and he can't get on the other side of that door, out of one of the Q camps. And there's this really bad sanitation guy who, I don't know, he was like a total criminal psychopath who got to be the head of sanitation, which is a really bad organization that no longer takes out trash, but takes people to the Q camps. You do not want sanitation knocking on your door in the Songbird world. So our hero, I forget his name, the guy with the bike, the immune guy, he's really cool. He rides around delivering things because he's immune and he can. Not many people are on the streets, like I said. Everyone's quarantining in their homes. So there's this rich family quarantining in their homes. And the guy on the bike is one of their clients. And, actually, other way around, they're one of his clients. And he delivers things to them. And he puts it outside their door in this really cool locker that has like a blue light filter, a UV blue light kill all the germs filter in this box outside their door, which has two doors, one on the outside and one on the inside. So he puts everything he's delivering, like, I don't know what he's delivering, like food or whatever, and he puts it in the little box, and then it goes through the blue light, and then it goes out the other side. My hands are doing the motion. And it's free of germs, and that's how people get their delivery in the future. You have to have a special box with UV blue light to kill the germs. So that's one of his clients, and they play an important role. They're this rich family, right? And the guy's like, the father is like this total rich jerk who was a Hollywood producer or something. And he conned this sweet, beautiful young woman called she's the Songbird, by the way. And, the film could have been better at developing her story. How did she get the name Songbird? Why is she so special? I mean, they didn't do enough about her character. So the Songbird is stuck in her apartment. She's really lonely. And so she takes off her clothes, for videos, because everyone's doing videos online. YouTube's like really popular. And so she does that because she's lonely. And I don't know, maybe she makes money at it, whatever. And I don't think she just takes off her clothes. I think she sings, which is even better. She's probably tired of taking off her clothes and being looked at as a sexual object because this stupid Hollywood guy, the rich family, brought her over to Hollywood. And then he didn't put her in a film. He just seduced her and stuck her in a motel or somewhere. Yeah, I think she's in a motel. That's right. She's in a motel room. Oh, that'd be awful. Just one little dank, small, dingy motel room with nothing but a bed and a little bathroom. I mean, that'd be a horrible place to have to quarantine. She's stuck in there. And how does she fit in with the delivery guy? Well, she is the sort of poor victim of the rich Hollywood guy who's from the rich family. And they have a beautiful home like Beverly Hills with a pool and all that really beautiful home stuff, right? And they have a daughter who's sick. And doesn't have COVID, but she's just got an immune problem. And the wife has this sort of black market business going on where she provides people with special passports they need to travel. I guess she can say they're immune when they're not and give them the yellow bracelets for like $50,000 or $100,000. She charges a lot. And I guess they had special passports, so you couldn't travel anywhere without proving that you were immune. I don't even think they had a working immunization program going, so you had to be immune to travel. So she had this black market thing going on. And her husband wasn't making any movies. He was just hanging out with the poor Songbird girl who was from, the Midwest and got seduced into coming to Hollywood thinking she was going to be a music star and a film star. And she just ended up in a motel room being the, personal sex object of the really mean old film guy. Wouldn't want to have sex with him, man. He's just not attractive. And his daughter's sick, and his wife is played by Demi Moore, and she does a good job, and she has pretty long hair in this. And so back to our hero. He's the guy on the bike, and he's making deliveries to the rich family and to other families and businesses, and is on his bike. And there's no one really on the street except the sanitation people who are busting into people's homes to arrest them and take them to the Q zone, those camps for the quarantine people where they're forced to go when they're sick. And Q is for quick death because you don't leave those places. You just die quickly. So back to the girlfriend. So it's the Songbird, in my opinion, isn't so much the poor girl in the motel room who's the victim of the Hollywood director jerk who made her his personal sex slave. She's not so much in my opinion, she's not so much the title character. I think the Songbird should be the girlfriend of the guy on the bike. That's my opinion, because that would make more sense. But anyway, so the guy on the bike wants to be with his girlfriend, and she's stuck in an apartment with her grandmother. And she loves her grandmother, and she and her grandmother speak Spanish, and they're really cool. They really love each other. But then the grandmother gets sick. And she dies very quickly because apparently COVID-24 is really a quick killer. She dies and she's dead in the bedroom. And what's the girl going to do? I don't even remember her name either. She's not the Songbird, but we could call her Mary. That's not a real name, in the movie. So poor Mary's stuck with her dead grandmother in her apartment. And she knows sanitation guy, the really evil jerk who just happened to get to the top of sanitation when he was just like a trash truck driver. He should have stayed as a trash truck driver, but I guess they weren't worried about the trash. They were taking the people to the Q zone. So sanitation got a whole new name. Kind of reminds me of, Nazis, the Holocaust and all that, sadly. But that's kind of the big theme in this Songbird movie is we could have another one of those things. That would be so sad. Right. So how does this all fit together? This is where the movie could have done a little bit better. Develop the characters a little more. So we've got the guy on the bike. He's immune. He's really cute, and he goes around delivering things. And he works for the guy in the wheelchair who's the Iraqi vet. Maybe he was in Afghanistan or both. And he's in a wheelchair because he was wounded. And he's a little overweight, but I think he's really sweet and cute. And he's got all the tech going, with all the computers and the drone following around to make sure the bike delivery guy gets to where he's going safely and is always being kept track of, because you don't want to lose the delivery guy. And then your clients are saying, where is he? Why isn't he here? And then the guy on the other end of the phone can say, oh, yeah, let me check. Oh, yeah, my drone shows that he's there. And I've got his GPS locator on his bike, so we won't lose him. So the GPS locator guy in the wheelchair, he's got a great computer system in his apartment or whatever. And he's got his drone flying out there, really cool drone. And the bike delivery guy works for him and delivers stuff. But then the poor girlfriend of the guy on the bike, her grandmother dies, and she's stuck in an apartment with a dead grandmother. And she knows sanitation's going to be by. They have a way of finding out. I don't know how, but they do. And yes, lo and behold, the evil sanitation guy, who's just such a bad guy. This guy is oh man, he did the best job. I think being the total bad guy. Totally believed he was a really horrible guy. He ends up finding out the grandmother's dead, and he's going to bash down the door and arrest the girl because she doesn't have a yellow bracelet. She hasn't been proven to be how's the word? Okay. She hasn't proved to be free of the virus and just immune. That's the word. She hasn't proved to be an immune person yet, so he could just arrest her and take her to a Q zone, and then she would be forever separated from her boyfriend who's riding around on his bike and delivering stuff. And so the boyfriend finds out because his girlfriend calls him and says, oh my gosh, my grandmother's dead. The sanitation guy's been by, and they're going to break down my door any minute and put me in the Q zone, which is not so much quarantine, but quick death. What can I do? And he goes to her apartment, and he sits outside her door. And it's a great scene. They are separated by merely a door. Like, I think it's a wood door even. And that's all that's separating them. And I'm like, dude, I would break down the door. And I would be quarantined with her. Totally. That probably would have worked at the beginning. Because they've been separated for 5 years? And, didn't get to be together all that time. I totally would have broken down that door a long time ago. It's just a door, and I would have totally been in quarantine with my love. That's where I thought the movie was kind of stupid. So he's on the other side of the door. She's on the inside of the door. He's on the outside of the door, and he just falls asleep outside the door all night, and he's just sitting against the door, slumped down on the ground, falling asleep. And she's on the other side of the door, and her hands up on the door. And, you get this whole, darling, I love you, kind of in a prison. When you visit someone, sometimes you have to be seated, and there's a glass between you, and you talk on the phone. That's the old style visitation. Not the private prison's got something totally better where you can totally be together. And my whole point of this is I and Jose are the two songbirds from the movie Songbird. We're the songbird couple. And I honestly think that the songbird should have been the girlfriend stuck in the apartment with the dead grandmother. And her boyfriend trying to get to her should have just knocked down the door, got her, and escaped. In my opinion, that would have been a better ending. But it had a good ending. So back to the poor girl in the motel room. She's the songbird in the movie. I think that's badly cast. She should have another name, but she has a beautiful voice, and she sings for people. And she had met online the guy in the wheelchair who controls the drones, and they became friends, and maybe they were falling in love. Why not? So he's in a wheelchair. He's still kind of cute. And it's the heart that counts, right? And the mind, not just the body. I would have totally gone into quarantine with him. I don't understand why the songbird girl couldn't have figured out how to do that. or the drone guy in the wheelchair couldn't have figured out how to get her into his, place. I would have ended the movie with them together. And I hate to do a spoiler here, but, the movie isn't that great. They could have totally brought them together. That would have been such a cute couple. But what happens is the poor songbird singing out her heart to a bunch of people who watch her videos, and she broadcasts them like through YouTube or something. And she's all popular, and she doesn't really have to strip tease anymore. She's mostly just singing, but she can't get rid of the really bad Hollywood guy from the rich family whose wife is Demi Moore in the film, and who has a sick daughter, and they can't go anywhere because their daughter's sick and she can't leave her house. She'd die, and she doesn't even have the COVID. So she can't get away from him. And he shows up at her motel room and tries to kidnap her and put her in his car. And it looks like he's going to kill her because he's like, I'm not going to let you go. And she's like, let me go. I don't want to meet you anymore. I don't want to be your girl. You told me I could be a Hollywood actress and a singer. What's this? I'm your little sex object you see whenever you want. And we do sex and your wife doesn't know. Shame on you. I want to end it. And she tells him that. And he's like, get in the car. He's going to kidnap her, maybe kill her. You imagine that. His wife certainly won't want him to show up at their house with her. What's he going to do with her? And so just as we think she's going to die, a drone appears above the car, and the drone shoots the guy who's the bad Hollywood director, film guy, dead. And the blood gets all over the windshield of her car. And then Songbird kind of like, oh, she's screaming, what happened? There's blood in my car. He's dead. He got shot in the head. He's on the ground. And up above her is the drone. Yeah. And the guy who's the veteran from Iraq and Afghanistan, who's in the wheelchair, shot the bad guy dead from the drone because he was watching after his girl, the songbird. And they're going to get together eventually. I just would have had it at the end of the movie. And then he says on the phone to her, they call each other on the phone again. And she's like, what happened? The guy's dead. He got shot by a drone. And the veteran guy says, I will always have your 6. In other words, 6 is the degrees behind you. If you look at a clock, 12's in front, 6 is behind. You've got right and left. Okay, so he's always watching out for her with his drone. I think that's kind of sweet and romantic. I would have been like, well, you've got my 6. Okay, give me your address. I'm over there. I don't care. I'm going to get in this car. Blood. I don't care if it's bloody and it belonged to this evil Hollywood guy. He's dead anyway. I'm just going to take this car and find you. We're going to just quarantine together. I totally would have done that, but the movie didn't quite end that way. You kind of figure that's going to happen eventually. But that was, to me, the biggest mistake in the movie. All right. And, she could have kept the title Songbird. It would have been fine, but they should have had a more creative name for the girlfriend of the guy on the bike, because there were 2 couples in the film, the songbird and the Vietnam vet guy, and the girl in the apartment with her dead grandmother and the guy on the bike. 2 different couples. And then the third family was the rich Hollywood family in Beverly Hills or somewhere with the sick daughter, so they can't go anywhere. And the wife has this underground business giving people yellow bracelets so they can, get out of horrible Los Angeles, which is all under lockdown. Right. Okay. Can you remember all that? So the movie ends with the guy going, the bike guy, I'll call him Mike because I don't remember his name, and Mary, the girlfriend with the dead grandmother. The movie ends with the bike guy going to the rich family to get the girl a yellow bracelet so he can save her life and save her from the Q zone. So he goes over there and he has a gun and he breaks in, and Demi Moore, no, he doesn't have a gun. He breaks in, and then Demi Moore finds him with a gun, and she's like, got a gun, ready to shoot him. And then she realizes, oh, you're the delivery guy. What are you doing in my house breaking in? And he's like, you've got to save my girlfriend. She's going to go to the Q zone. The sanitation guy is after her. And so the mom does the right thing, and she makes a yellow bracelet and does the whole computer stuff so it can be double checked so that he can take it to Mary, his girlfriend, stuck there with her dead grandmother, and the sanitation guy ready to take them both away, the dead grandmother to the, I don't know, the common grave where they put all the dead bodies and burn them, and her to the Q zone. So very fast. the mother of the sick girl, who's the wife of the bad Hollywood guy, gives the bike delivery driver a yellow bracelet that's for immune people only, and fix it all in the computer so that it can be double checked and verified. And he grabs the bracelet, thanks her, and drives off on his bike and gets to the apartment. And in all the midst of that, he ends up killing the sanitation guy because he had no other choice. The sanitation guy was going to kill him. In fact, the sanitation guy kind of knifed him first. So he kills the sanitation guy to take that immediate threat away. And then he goes to the apartment and rescues Mary, finally breaks down that door, and the two of them ride off on his motorcycle, because he got a motorcycle from somewhere. I don't remember where. I think he had it in his garage or something. So they found a motorcycle. The door was broken down, and the main couple, Mary and Mike, Mary, the sweet Hispanic girl with the sweet grandmother who died, and Mike, the delivery guy, they go off together on a motorcycle to like Big Sur, California, and have adventures. And they send back a video to their friends saying, hey, we're here, we survived. And the songbird is still in her motel room, but she sees that and she's happy for them. And the veteran guy is still in his wheelchair with his drones and all his cool computer equipment, and he's all happy. But I totally would have had those two together. And then whatever happened to the Demi Moore character whose husband got shot, and she's with her sick daughter in their nice home. I guess she just kept making bracelets to help people. Oh, but I forgot the most important thing. Before the sanitation evil guy gets killed, he does arrest the girl, and he's about to take her to the Q zone, the best scene in the movie. And then the guy on the bike, he, hurries up to get there, and he grabs the girl, and without anyone seeing it, he puts the bracelet on her. Kind of really quickly, like he says, trust me. And they're embracing, and all this like SWAT team is around ready to shoot them. And you're like, oh no, they can't get shot now. And he puts the yellow bracelet on her. And so as a horrible sanitation guy is ready to take her away, he sees she's got the bracelet. No, I guess he's already dead. I think he's already dead. Okay, the other sanitation people on the SWAT team that works with him that are ready to take her to the Q zone, because the evil sanitation got killed by Mike, the delivery guy on the bike, because he was fighting for his own life and he had to. So that guy's dead. But the SWAT team's all around them in their black with their helmets and their face shields and all that, ready to shoot them. But then he holds up her arm and says, she's immune like I am. See, here's her yellow bracelet. And it's a beautiful reunion. They're hugging each other. Their hands are entwined together. And, their hands are holding each other. And it's a beautiful ending. And I thought, oh my gosh, that's Jose and me. We're the real songbird couple. He's in a prison not far from where I live in Central California. And we're not separated just by some little wood door that we could break down. We're separated by prison walls and barbed wire, razor wire, and guard towers, and a whole lot of land with a whole lot of fences and a whole lot of prison guards. And he's in a cell with one other person all the time. And they've been in quarantine for like 6 weeks, and he can't even call me every day. He calls me once in a while. He can't go out in the yard. He can't go in the day room. He's stuck in a cell with one other person behind bars. That would be like the worst place to be in a forced quarantine. Yeah, we still have forced quarantines going on in this world, even though it's February 19, 2021. So Governor Newsom, if you're ever watching this, if you're watching any of my videos, set Jose free. We're the songbird couple, and we need to be together. So all of you out there, go watch the movie Songbird. I paid $15 to watch it because it's a new movie. It was originally $19 or $20, and I'm like, I'm not paying $20. But when it went down to $15, I'm like, okay, I'll do it. And I wrote to Jose about it, and he said, wow, I love that story. We're the songbird couple. And I said, yes, we are. We really are, because we're separated by more than just a door. All right? If it were just a door, hey, we'd figure out how to knock it down, and we'd be quarantined together. But it's a prison, and he can't escape, obviously, and I can't get in, obviously. Visitation has been closed to all prisons for almost a year, since last March 12, March 12, 2020, all the prisons were closed to all visitors. I can't even talk to him on the phone every day. I got a letter from him today. I got one yesterday. I send him letters. I send him stamps. I miss him. So please, back to the dot. I get this because I'm free of COVID. I don't have a fever. Yeah, I might get an immunization when it's available, but it's not available to me because I'm not one of the really valuable people who are really old or healthcare providers. They're the only ones in California getting the immunization for now. And that might have to do something with Governor Newsom and why we're recalling him. Now I'm going to show you the rest of these on my car. So those are all the dots, not even all of them, some of the dots that I've gotten this past year, the year of quarantine. And I put them all in my car to remind me. There's my name. I used to drive for Uber in my car, and it's a pretty cool car. And California is a lovely place, and it's almost dark. And there's the sun. And this is California. And it's a beautiful, warm place usually. But I miss Jose. So I hope you enjoyed my kind of scatterbrained review of Songbird, which is basically a really good movie and a good story, but it could have been better. It could have been better. The characters could have been developed more, and they should have had two couples together at the end, not just the one. The poor Songbird girl in her motel room should have got together with the guy in the wheelchair who had the drones and the computers. They were cute. I totally would have done it that way. But the girl with the dead grandmother, I'll call her Mary, she did actually go off into the sunset in California on a motorcycle with the bicycle delivery guy, whom I'll call Mike, and they were together, and that was a good ending. Totally could have been better, though. It could have been better acted. It could have been better developed. And I give it a 3 stars out of 5. That's not too bad, though. I would watch it. It's a good thing. So this is Lonna Lisa Williams with my review of Songbird, telling you Jose and I are the real songbirds. Pray for him. I miss him. I need him free. And Governor Newsom, you got to set him free, dude. You got to make an appointment with me. Going to come there with KTLA or Fox News someday into your office. Going to do it. Going to end up there in Sacramento. Can't ignore me forever. Please set Jose free. The Songbird couple need to be together. Take away those big barbed wire fences and guard towers and gates for us. Please. Thank you. Lonna Lisa Williams saying, I hope your 2021 is going to be way better than 2020. Goodbye.